If you play fingerstyle blues with a steady bass groove and you feel like things are getting a little monotonous, one of the best things you can do is to start turning that steady bass groove into a walking bass line. That's what I'm going to show you how to get started with in today's lesson. And if you would like to learn more about this walking bass approach, I encourage you to check out my membership, the Fingerstyle 5. We're just at the start of the month, and we're going to be spending the entire month of July looking at how to play the blues with a walking bass. And even if you've never done it before, we're going to start at the beginning with some basic grooves, all the right hand coordination you need, and by the end of the month, you'll be playing a complete new tune using the walking bass approach. So check it out at fretboardconfidential.com. And now let's get going with today's lesson. Okay, so putting together licks over a steady bass, we've got three things we got to do. We got to know what the bass is doing. We got to pick some lick to play on top. And then we got to see how to make those two things happen at the same time. So, if we start off with the bass, what's going on over here is just really steady bass, just playing on all the downbeats. 1, 2, 3, 4. Except that we're moving the notes around in the bass, from the root to the second to the flat third to the third. But still just playing on beats 1, 2, 3, and 4. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Now don't get too attached to what each note, what finger is playing each note, because that is going to shift around as you accommodate what the licks are doing on top. So on top, if we have this lick, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and here we've got flat third to root, flat 7 to the 5th, root, flat 7, 5th, flat 7, root. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So now we just have to plot that lick over that bass line. So if we start off with those two notes, that's on 1 and, so that's going to match with the open E string. So 1 and. Right. That's just like playing steady bass. Next beat, we got to grab an F sharp in the bass, and we've got to grab the flat 7 to the 5th on top. Again, it's a pinch, but you're really only thinking about two notes. Right now, this is a pinch between the 6th string and the 2nd string, and then on the and of 2, you go to an open string. So now maybe we go to the bass here with the middle finger and pinch with the high string on beat 3, and then bring in the ring finger to play the flat 7. And then maybe just move up the middle finger to play on beat 4 and pinch open 2nd string. And then get the flat 7 with the index finger over here. So just a set of pinches followed by one more note. Measure 1 and open strings, right? And then on beat 2, continue with the bass, right? So it's just that series of pinches followed by one more note, and a lot of the notes are open strings. Like that. Now, when you have the open E on beat 1, you have the latitude to go further up the neck, right? You could go here, or even, right? So on that first beat, you could go a few different places, and it starts to create a sense that you're playing a variety of licks, even though most of the time you're playing down here in the open position. Now, like a lot of things pertaining to fingerstyle guitar, learning to put licks over a walking bass is a cumulative process. The first lick you try to put over a walking bass line will be the hardest. And then the next time it'll be a little bit easier. And the next time after that, it'll be easier still. So just start with this one measure lick and see if you can start to get it under your fingers going in these sort of small stepwise moves like I've pointed out here. And if you're ready for a deeper dive, I'll be teaching walking bass lines in E all this month in my membership, the Fingerstyle 5. We'll have exercises to develop your right and left hand coordination, new chord voicings, licks, bass lines, and we'll apply it all to a complete tune that you can learn at both a beginning and an intermediate to advanced level. So even if you've never done walking bass lines before, you can get started at the beginning of the month, and by the end of the month, be working on a complete song that uses this style. Again, you can check that out at fretboardconfidential.com. And if you've got a question or a comment about today's lesson, leave it for me down below. I'd love to hear from you. And as always, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.